1 kitchen, 2 chefs, your choice. This is Boulder Bites. Each time, we'll take 2 delicious recipes and show you how you can make them yourselves with a little help from our Sky Chefs. Each of our chefs will be showing you how to make quick, easy, healthy, and above all, delicious meals no matter what you're hungry for. Each dish should take no more than 15 minutes to prepare, and they'll show you exactly what ingredients you'll need, how to prepare them, and how to serve to your family and friends so that everyone can enjoy delicious, quick, and healthy food. Warning: the following recipes may require the use of sharp knives, boiling water, and hot grills and ovens. Pay close attention to the safety guides, make sure you have some oven gloves handy, and if in doubt, make sure there's an adult around to help. Coming up today, 2 amazing dishes for you. If you're into your savoury main courses, or if you have a bit of a sweet tooth, these will definitely appeal to you. It's carrot cake muffins versus vegetable omelette and chips. So, let's kick things off with a recipe that's a firm favourite in coffee houses and delicatessens across the land, as Dang shows us how to make his carrot cake muffins.
So now we're going to make a carrot cake muffin. We're also going to make a cream cheese and orange frosting. So I've got some icing sugar, some cream cheese on orange, and then for the actual base of the mix, I've got some sugar, some self-raising flour, eggs, oil, some carrots. Carrots have already been washed. No need to peel them, again, because there's quite a lot of nutrients in the skin. I've also got a pair of scales as well. Turn that on. I'm just going to start grating the carrot.
As we've mentioned before, be extra careful when using the grater, and if you're not confident, please get an adult to help you.
So what you need for this is 225 grams of grated carrot. Just going to measure that. In the bowl, just going to add my sugar. Really coat your carrots. Once that's all mixed in, I'm going to crack my eggs in. Again, after that, wash my hands. And then what you want to do, getting your spoon or a spatula, just give it a little whisk and then just fold it into your mix. Every time you're doing this, you want to go around the side of the bowl, just in case if there's any sort of carrots in and around the edges of your bowl, you just want to capture all of it. Once that's in, go with my oil. Add my oil. Again, giving it another good mix. Once that's mixed, add in your flour. But you want to do this gradually, so I'd probably go half. Mix that in first. Folding it through. Again, just making sure you're going around the edges. Just want to gradually add in your flour. And then add your remaining flour in. Cool, and then you should be left with a mix like this. So here I've got a muffin mold. What we've got is some cupcake little tins here. Depending on the size of your sort of cupcake mold, will obviously depend on how many portions you're going to get out of this. So these you can pick up at your local supermarket, purchase those, and then you can probably get more out of the mix, large ones, so that's what we're going to use today. And then using a spoon, you want to go about halfway up, because these are going to basically double in size. Cool, once that's done, come over to the oven, just pop it open, let the steam come out. Put these in there. Close the door, timer on for 15 minutes. Let it cook.
Now that the muffins are in the oven, let's go over that ingredients list. For Dang's carrot cake muffins, you will need 225 grams of caster sugar, 225 grams of grated raw carrots, 2 eggs, 100 millilitres of vegetable oil, 250 grams of white self-raising flour, and don't forget to sieve it into a bowl before adding it, just to remove all the lumps. 100 grams of low-fat cream cheese, 55 grams of icing sugar, and the zest of 1 orange. So whilst the muffins are in the oven, seems like a good time to go over to Pranav, as he shows us how to make the perfect omelette.
All right, for our next recipe, we're going to go on with vegetable omelette with roasted sweet potatoes. I've got a variety of vegetables which I'm going to get to later on. We're going to start with the sweet potato, which is going to take the longest time to cook. The time taken to cut all these vegetables, in the meantime, the potatoes can cook in the oven. Wash them nicely, make sure that there's no dirt on them. Yeah, the potatoes, we're going to cook it with the skin on. Once clean, these skins are edible, and they also contribute to the flavor profile of the potato. Just go halfway through there, and then half again. Sweet potatoes are very tough vegetables to cut. Please allow any adult to assist with this process. You want the potatoes cut into around half a centimeter thick veggies like that. These would take approximately 12 to 14 minutes in the oven to roast. So once they're cut, again lay them onto a tray lined with greaseproof paper. Use around 3 to 4 teaspoons of oil, a little bit of salt. To flavor it, you could use some dried herbs again, like rosemary, oregano, which contributes to the flavor profile. Use both your hands to mix. Make sure that the potatoes are evenly coated with the oil. All right, so I'm going to cook this in the oven at 180 degrees for 15 minutes. Our next focus would be the vegetables. We got some peppers, some tomatoes, spinach, and mushrooms, and some spring onions. You could use regular white or red onions if you don't have spring onions. You could also use some herbs like parsley, some cheddar cheese for a cheese omelette. You could also mix it up with the vegetables. I mean, the possibilities are endless. You could have a mushroom and cheese. You could have just tomato and cheese, or just a cheese omelette on its own, or a mix of all the vegetables. We're going to start by cutting the vegetables. Cut these vegetables into small dices so they end up cooking pretty quickly on the pan. Again, this is a very advanced knife technique, making them into dices this small. I would advise an adult to assist.
After the peppers, Pranav then chops the tomatoes, mushrooms, spinach, and lastly, the spring onions.
With the spring onions, I like to use the white part and the bottom part for cooking. The top part, we can thinly cut it and use it as a garnish. So that's all the vegetables that you need for your mixed veg omelette.
So whilst all the ingredients are chopped and prepared, and before Pranav starts cooking, let's go over that ingredients list. For Pranav's omelette with sweet potato chips, you will need 2 medium or 1 large sweet potato, 50 millilitres of vegetable or olive oil, 4 spring onions, 2 peppers, 12 mushrooms, 6 eggs, 80 grams of grated cheese, 360 grams of spinach, and 2 tomatoes. And don't forget that apart from the sweet potato chips, the rest of the ingredients are for 2 omelettes. So make sure you only use half of those measurements for each omelette. But before we start making the omelette, let's revisit Dang and see how the muffins turned out.
So when the timer goes off, just pop it open, let it steam and hot air come out. Get it adult. If you need help, take these out. And again, just leave these 45 minutes to an hour, let them cool down. You don't want to take these out too quick, because basically the residual heat is still cooking the inside. What you don't want them to do is collapse. So I'll just leave them, let them cool down. We'll make the cream cheese frosting. Cream cheese in the bowl. Again, just make sure you scoop out all of it. Icing sugar, I've pre-sieved this. Reason why you want to sieve this is so that you don't get lumps of icing sugar. Just go ahead and sieve it. Put that all in there. Now I'm just going to mix that in. Once that's all mixed, we're using a microplane, but you can always use the grater. Just going to grate the zest of an orange. Cool, then you can keep that orange, again, juice it, segment it, give that a nice little whisk, and now you can start seeing it turn orange. Once that's done, muffins are nice and cooled down now. Put these on the plate. And then just using your spoon, put those on top. Any excess mix left over, just go again. Just top it up. Cool.
And there we have our carrot cake muffins with orange fondant topping, which taste as good as they look. But before we give those a try, let's go back to Pranav as he starts putting the omelette together.
So let's go to the part of making the omelette. Start by cracking 3 eggs. Once you've cracked the eggs, always remember to wash your hands, because the exterior of the eggs contain salmonella, which is a bacteria which can cause food poisoning. You could season the eggs lightly, a little bit of salt, and use a fork to kind of whisk it and incorporate some air into the eggs to make the omelette a little bit fluffy. You know when the egg is properly beaten, when you lift up the fork and the eggs drop in a single straight line and they're not holding into a mess. They've got a nice flow to it. Now we can go on to the stove. I already have a non-stick pan. I recommend a non-stick pan to be used whilst making an omelette, because you use a lot less oil or butter and the omelette does not stick to the pan. Just add a couple of teaspoons of oil. We start off with spring onion bottoms. Add the rest of the vegetables. We'll actually add a little more spinach. Once the vegetables have lightly sweated, the process of sweating is when you see a little bit of moisture coming off from the vegetables, go ahead and add the beaten eggs. Actually spread it evenly around the pan. Just keep pulling back the edges so that the liquid part goes to the side and you get an even cooking of the omelette. Make sure your heat is on low to medium, because you do not want to burn the omelette at this point. Once you see the eggs setting out a bit, sprinkle some cheese. You can gradually start turning your omelette. The chips are as well ready. This one's a bit of a tricky bit. You need to flip it off the pan, and there you go. Perfectly finished omelette. Serve it along with some roasted sweet potatoes. And garnish with some spring onions. We have a mixed veg omelette with cheese and roasted sweet potato.
And before you tuck in, make sure that you've turned all the grills and ovens you've been using off. And once again, you have 2 more recipes that should definitely keep you happy, whether you're after something savoury or something sweet, or maybe even both. For more hints and tips on how to substitute ingredients, go to this address. But for now, get healthy, get creative, and get cooking.